Think you're just too busy? One North Texas church says after you see its offer, you'll think again. Dennis has more on Pandemic, global outreach.
It's the title of a sermon series at Pantego Bible Church in Arlington, Texas. But it's more than a string of messages. It's a Christian worldview for Senior Pastor Dr. David Daniels. David, as he prefers, and his new missions pastor, Roger Sappington, sat down to talk about the call, challenges, and life-transforming joy of being missions-minded. David says it starts with a change of heart and mind about reaching the unsaved for Christ. And that means sacrifice.
Nobody can make a decision to become missional and make a difference with their life at the present density of the way they live life right now. Every person will have to say no to something in order to say yes to a greater good. And one of the greatest obstacles for a Christian serving, whether it's serving their family or their neighborhood or their community or their world, is busyness. I think that's the greatest obstacle among Christians today. Even Jesus said in Matthew 13, when he talked about the parable of the weeds, he talked about that there was a kind of seed that grew up. It's a parable of the seed. The seed grew up, and the third one was choked out by the weeds. And I think a lot of people are living choked lives. And the only way that will be effective is to say no so that we can say a greater yes.
Missions is made clear in the church's mission statement, making God known by making disciples who are changed by God to change their world. It's always been at the center of David's leadership at Pantego.
I began to think about a missions pastor the moment I stepped foot into Pantego Bible Church 5 years ago. And it just so happens that the timing was perfect as we launched into this year of mission for us to be able to have the resources and the momentum behind us as a church. It just so happens that the conversations that we had with Roger and others coincided with this particular series, and now we're glad to have him as part of our staff.
I think missions is as much about being as it is doing. And so as we, abide in Christ, and Jesus said, abide in me and you'll bear much fruit. As we abide in him, in his word, through prayer, I think that the natural outflow of our lives is going to be missions. We're going to look at the needs of our neighbors around us, and we're not going to be burdened by the maybe the extra hour it takes to serve them. We're going to consider the needs of global population. When we see things in the news, we're going to be praying for them. And then we're going to consider the fact that God has called us, not just to Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria, but to the ends of the earth.
David and Roger say they're excited to see God move in the hearts of so many members to become missions-minded.
We have a 5-year vision to have a dozen or more international opportunities for people in the church to be able to step into the stream, if you will, step into the current of what God's doing around the world. And in recent years, we have cultivated relationships or partnerships with some of our missionaries around the world. And this year, we have a couple of trips to Spain, which, believe it or not, though it's a Western country, is an extremely unevangelized country. We have a trip to India to work with an organization in India. We are working right now on a trip to Ethiopia and are looking to return to cultivate a couple of orphan care partnerships that we have in Ethiopia. And then among our students during spring break, we have trips to work with Compassion Ministries in Arizona and in Tyler. And so there are a variety of ways that any individual from any background could actually test drive, if you will, what the mission field is like.
You can get information on those trips and others, as well as answers to questions about becoming a missions-minded Christian, when you log onto the church's website, pantego.org, or get the link from ours, christiannewsweekly.org.